Hello everybody, it's Slushie and welcome back to another video. Now today we'll be doing a movie review on Saw 2.
I want to play a game. Live or die, make your choice.
There's nowhere to go! Where is he?
Oh, yes. There will be blood.
I have an interesting opinion on this movie that's kind of going to be a hot take. Because after the first film, which you guys know if you guys see my first review, I absolutely adore the original film. It's a modern classic for sure, guaranteed. But the second one, I have a very interesting opinion on. Most people absolutely love this movie from what I've seen. In fact, very few people do not like this movie. I am in that very gray margin of people that do not like this movie. To me, it's like they took the things that were good about the original film, threw it out the window. It just lacks the vibes that the first one brought to the table. It's, as with most films, it gets bloodier, more violent, and way more crazy. It ups the shock factor. In fact, every film after the original just keeps upping the shock factor, and that's all they really brought to the table, period. It's just, in my opinion, several of the other entries are just better than this. I like the face-to-face confrontation between John Kramer Jigsaw and Detective Matthews. I think that it's a great villain and hero pairing for sure. I guess the question you could ask is Saw 2 really that bad? No, it's not awful. It's definitely not a horrible film. In fact, it's a pretty decent film. It's just, for me, it's not as good as what people make it out to be, which people make it out to be like it's one of the greatest sequels to a film ever made as far as horror films go, and I'm not going to bite on that. I don't think it's true whatsoever. Again, it's an entertaining film. It's pretty well done. It does do some things that I really liked. Again, the confrontation with John Kramer and Detective Matthews. But beyond those things, I just don't really care for this movie. I mean, I've seen it like a handful of times in my entire life, and it's just not one that I have a huge interest in watching a bunch. It just doesn't have that kind of watchability for me. For the first time, I think I really loved it. I was a kid when I first saw it. It came out a year after the original film, which is nuts, but not surprising. And I'm not actually going to say, usually with a lot of films that come out a year after the original film, or a year after the previous entry, it's usually not that good, but honest to God, like honestly, I have to say that considering that this came out a year after the original, which left them basically just less than a year of production, this is pretty good. So that's my positive for you guys, or that's my takeaway from this film for you guys, is for what they did in less than a year making this film, they did pretty damn good, considering that there's other films like Halloween 5 that kind of ruined the whole Halloween 4 situation, and, you know, it just doesn't do anything for me. It's not a god-awful trashy film or trash film. It's just, it doesn't bring anything to the table that I can really like enjoy too well. But overall, Saw 2, is it a good movie? It's a good first time watch, I'd say. It's something you should probably watch once and probably move on from it, unless you enjoy it more than I do. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Saw 2 a solid. I'm going to go ahead and give Saw 2 a 7 out of 10. Again, it's a very average film for me. I'm not going to shit on it too much because, again, it's a pretty good entry considering that they only had less than a year to work on this. Saw 2, pretty damn good. So, let me know if you enjoy Saw 2 down below. Hit like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you're not already, hit that bell to get notified anytime I make a video or stream. Keep up to date with the channels, there's some crazy going on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Save me, you should never break me. You're the thing that makes me be afraid of myself. Don't tell me you're sorry, just say a thing to stop me. Help me break the silence, come and save me from myself.